over here.
If someone would like start doing some voice acting, what would be the
To start voice acting, well, I don't know. That's always tricky for me to answer that. As far as just, starting voice acting, like, I'm starting it tomorrow. I don't know. But I mean, there's kind of a sequence of building up to that. Like myself, I was a theater actor. So that was my background. I mean, most actors are theater actors. Most of us come from a theater background. So, I mean, that's like kind of the preparation leading up to it. I mean, before I had my first audition at ADV, I'd never done any voice acting, but I had a lot of stage training and stage experience. So that's probably the best thing. But I'm online, there are so many like fan projects and independent projects that people are doing. I don't really participate in any of those because I am already a professional voice actor, so I don't do that. But I know that there are a lot of groups online, so I mean that would definitely be a way to at least get some experience, get your feet wet. And there are certainly, we were just talking about this at dinner, I don't know specifically where in the Cleveland area, but this is well, we're not in Cleveland, but I came to the airport in Cleveland. We're in Sandusky, whatever. You're in Cleveland, you're in Cincinnati, Detroit, wherever you are. Because I'm assuming that there are people here from those kinds of places. Look into maybe some voiceover workshops, some classes to, mic technique, diction. And I think specifically for voice work, the two most important skills that you will really, really use, improvisation and cold reading. I mean, absolutely, improvisation and cold reading. Those are the two most important skills that you can have in your toolbox, if you will. I mean, it is acting, so it's voice acting, it's acting. With doing other kinds of acting, if it's a play or if it's a film, you're reading the script in advance, you're memorizing it, you're rehearsing it. With voice work, you don't do that. You haven't seen the script before right now when you're performing it. If it's whatever it is, almost any kind of voice work, you don't have that in advance. You're doing it right now. And also, it's very, very likely to change. We just read it, oh, that doesn't sound right. It's too short, it's too long, we're changing this word, something happens. So, if you don't have really, really excellent cold reading skills, you're pretty much sunk. So I think cold reading and improv, and of course you have to be able to take direction, but that's, kind of the basic foundation, really. And, I think practicing at home, when I was a kid, I know it's not like that now, but you have other recording devices, like probably your iPhone or your Android or whatever. But I had a tape recorder, and I would write skits and perform skits with my friends. And I didn't have a camera or anything, and this was really before people had video cameras so much. But I would actually make recordings and practice doing different voices and different accents and different characters, and I would just record that and listen to it and amuse myself for hours with my tape recorder. But I think getting used to being able to hear yourself and know what you actually sound like and accept that and be able to hear it and try to be objective about it. I can be in the studio and listen to something that I did because, you'll do it and then they'll play it back. And to know if it's any good or not. Some people can really be overly critical of themselves, and I'm not saying I'm such a genius and everything I do is great, because if I hear something and I'm like, that wasn't quite right, I know that it wasn't right. So you have to be able to cultivate that objectivity to hear it and know if it's any good or not. And I don't know how you learn that or teach that or whatever, but it's definitely an attribute that is very important. Try to get a new person. Right there, the reddish hair.
What's the most challenging role that you play?
Ooh, Most challenging role. In terms of just like acting depth, probably the most challenging role was a character called Altina in Noir. And that was a really challenging role for me. The character was sort of the villain of the piece, but she was very quiet and very understated and really even almost monotonous. But that was very tricky to really underplay that character and yet still get across her really crazy ass biases that she had. I mean, she was really seriously deranged. Now, she didn't think she was deranged, but, you know, that was really tricky. And then just from a purely physiological standpoint, I did this character who was a balloon. He was actually a balloon, and I cannot explain to you how that is possible. But it was in DigiCarrot, and this little creature, Gemma, he is a balloon. And it was this really high-pitched, really scratchy voice, and it hurt. It just hurt a lot to do that voice. That was stupid. I would have rather been doing Altina. But yeah, so for two completely different reasons, roles can be challenging and fulfilling also for various reasons. Yes, hat. I could so almost hear some of the things that you said. I got how and character.
How in character are you with being in character?
Oh, okay. How in character. Thinking about how to answer that. Well, you know, it's different in a way that, you know, performing a role that's in front of other people, but in voice acting, I mean, you still are portraying, I always think of it as portraying a character rather than doing a voice, because most of us can't do a voice. You know, we can mimic someone we know, or some cartoon character or something like that. We can do that. But I think a lot about the problem with, or the challenge that's presented with voice acting is just the amount of time that you have to develop that. You know, when you're working on a play, you've read it so many times, and you've researched it, and you've rehearsed it, and you'll write your own little autobiography about that character and try to fill in the blanks for yourself and where they came from and what they did, and you don't have the time to do that if you're working on something like an anime or a Pizza Hut commercial. You know, why does this character love cheese so much? You have to kind of do it all on the fly, but I still try to put myself in the mindset of that character. And when we did the last episode of Legend of the Mystical Ninja, Goemon, I sort of dressed as my character. He was a 12-year-old boy. But in every episode, you know how cartoon characters, they wear the same outfit all the time, and so he had these like little khaki shorts and a looked like a blue denim shirt. And so when I went in for my last recording session on that show, I showed up wearing my little Tsukasa Ishikawa outfit, and I was very proud of myself. I really felt it, you know. And also, when I did my last recording session of Kaleidostar, in which I played a seal. Again, in real life, I probably would not ever play a seal or any other kind of aquatic mammal. But I took my Jonathan plushie with me into the studio, and I cuddled it. It was sad. Yes. So someone else did. Yeah, front row.
Do you have a favorite ADR director to work with?
Ooh, a favorite ADR director to work with? That is a super-duper question. Boy, I feel like I should say Matt Greenfield, but he's not here. Somebody that I got along with really, really well was Sandra Crossa. I always really loved working with her. She directed Ma Barajo. She directed Hello Kitty's Animation Theater. Yay. She helped direct the first volume of Ozymandias as well. I always really got along really well with Sandra, and I enjoyed working with her very much. And not just because she's a lady, but I would say that most of the directors, but not all, I have enjoyed working with them. At least I have enjoyed with all of them the fact that they have hired me. I enjoy being hired very much. Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, I'll take you and then okay, go ahead.
What kind of things do you do to like take care of your voice?
Oh, to take care of my voice? Well, one thing I do is I drink a lot of water. Nestle Pure Life, it refreshes. Delicious. Really, I mean, yeah, that's one of the things is I drink a lot of water, particularly when I'm recording. I always have a lot of water in there with me. Except when I did the horrible Gemma balloon thing in Ponyo Ponyo Digi Carrot. Besides my water, I had to have lots of herbal tea for my throat, which was killing me. Yeah. Most hilarious epic moment while voice acting. Ooh. Funny that those are not popping to my mind as quickly as the awkward ones. I do, the first one that I think of is working on the Evangelion TV series. There's a scene where Asuka is taunting Shinji. Yeah, you remember that scene where she was taunting Shinji? And there's the whole thing about, do you want to kiss me? And then she actually does kiss him, and then she runs off in disgust into the bathroom and she starts gargling with mouthwash. So obviously I didn't have any mouthwash in the booth, but I started gargling just with water. But in the midst of the gargling with water, I started laughing, and so then I inhaled some of the water and I started choking. And then I was laughing at myself for choking. I mean, I probably nearly died doing that scene. That was pretty epically humiliating. But